There are going to be three parts to the deep dive process: data collection, data organization, and data synthesis. Let me actually flip the order, and I'm going to talk about data organization first. The reason I want to talk about data organization first is you need to know how you're going to be organizing the data before you actually start collecting the data. And there is obviously going to be a ton of data that you're going to get as you're going to try to study this category, the shortlisted category. And you will need a framework to organize all the data. One framework, one model that has worked extremely well for me is the 4P model, with the simple basic 4P model, Kotler's 4P model. The 4Ps obviously in the model are product, price, promotion, and place. Let me expand on these one by one. Starting with the first one, product. The name is obviously self-explanatory. What we're going to try to do in this is organize the databases of organize the different products, the information that we collect on the different products in the category, basis various facets of the product. So let me take a few examples to illustrate. Let's look at products by formats. So for example, in skincare, you have so many different formats in the category, ranging from moisturizers, face wash, scrubs, serum, face masks, mists, the list goes on. So that was the product format. Then you have segments by benefits. Again, so if you look at bath soaps, again, taking an example in the personal care space, provide so many different benefits. The benefit of beauty, the name obviously that comes to mind is Lux in this case. You have antibacterial soaps like Lifebuoy and Dettol. You have moisturizing soaps, the leader there obviously being Dove, the one which has created this segment. And then you have soaps that provide aromatherapy benefits like Fiamma and Palmolive. Another facet to look at is ingredients. And there's scores of examples of this in personal care, as we have seen across the different categories, across the different segments of personal care. You have natural, Ayurvedic, chemical-free variants, which have obviously come up in the last few years and gained relevance and prominence, versus the chemical ones, the traditional products that we had. And then the other examples in terms of the other facets obviously are sizes and pricing, and packaging. Packaging obviously is extremely closely related to how premium price the product is, something that we're going to talk about in the next slide. So the next P is price, again, self-explanatory. Here, what we're trying to do is organize the products in the category basis where they fall on the price pyramid, starting from the bottom, which is the popular products, and then moving up the price pyramid to mass and premium price products with luxury products on the top. Let me take an example here. So if you look at the detergent category, you have, for example, Nirma or Ghadi at the bottom of the pyramid. And then as you move up, you will have brands like Surf, which are straddling multiple price points with the different variants that they have in the market, which is the base Surf, Surf Excel, Surf Excel Matic, and so on and so forth. The next P is promotion. This P is actually broader than what the name would suggest. The two key elements here are ATL, which are above the line activities, and BTL, which are below the line activities. Above the line activities comprise of advertising and communication, what you and I as consumers consume or view when we are online, when we are interacting with any media. So be it online, when you're listening, you're on your phone, on your devices, watching TV, reading a magazine, reading the newspaper, or on radio. Then moving along, BTL activities. So you have consumer and trade promotions here. Just a few examples of these would obviously be when you're on e-commerce platforms, the price offs that you get. If you're in a modern trade store, the price offs again there, and the bundle packs that you see in those stores. Traditional trade, which is your Kirana stores, your general merchant stores. In this channel, what you primarily see are promotions which are meant to incentivize the trade and not so much the consumer. The other element in BTL activities are the trade activations. Here I'm talking about all the displays that you see in modern trade stores. An example of a company which has done an extremely good job is Ferrero Rocher, the chocolate of displays in modern trade stores. Then in e-commerce, you have all those sponsored products, all the banner ads that you get when you are on the platform there. Also, when you are just scrolling and consuming media on other channels, be it Facebook, be it Instagram. And then you have obviously the activations that are done in traditional trade stores. So you have banners and danglers hanging around in these stores, if you have ever noticed them. And then a couple of examples of fantastic displays that have been done in traditional trade stores. You have the Cadbury's countertops where they display all the Cadbury chocolates, the dairy milks, the silks. This has been something that they have done extremely well over the past many years, many years. And one example that I noticed in the last 3-4 years of an outstanding display activity. This is the activation done by Lay's Chips, where they have those grilled cages outside the store where they display the chips. I think that is fantastic, because before this, they were stuck in some corner at the back of the store. So that fantastic activation there. So now we come to place, the last of the 4 Ps. Again, self-explanatory. Here we're talking about where the product is physically available or sold, not just physically anymore, also virtually, given the advent of e-commerce. So a few different ways of looking at place. The first being channel. So channel, obviously, like I had talked about in the previous slide, you have traditional trade, which are the Kirana stores, the general merchant stores. You have modern trade. Here we are referring to the organized brick and mortar stores, the Reliance, Big Bazaars, and D-Marts of the world. E-commerce, obviously, everybody is familiar. You have Flipkart, Amazon, Big Basket, and many more others that have entered and are doing a fantastic job of driving this channel. Then we talk about geography. Geography has 2 elements. Once again, geography, the first one is by region. As many of you would know, the categories and brands which have a significant regional skew. In many cases, it is driven by regional preferences, especially when it comes to food items. One example that pops to mind is the example of Thumbs Up, the soft drink. As in, what these guys have been able to achieve in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, where they have upwards of 75% market share, is phenomenal. As in, no other brand in no other region comes even close to these kinds of numbers. You also have differences by region basis climatic conditions. So obviously, the north is a more polluted, colder region than any of the others. And therefore, you see a lot more consumption of moisturizers, anti-pollution face washes, etc. In the north than you see in any of the other regions. And then you see a lot of skew, especially when it comes to brands, basis the place of origin. A few examples there. Obviously, the example of Borolene. If you happen to be in the east or the north, you are very familiar with the brand. You would have seen your grandmothers and mothers using this brand over the years. And if you are living in the south, or you're from the south or the west, you may not even know of the brand. So that's one example there. And then you have the example of 2 extremely popular regional brands in detergents. So you have Ghadi, which is huge in Uttar Pradesh. And then you have Nirma, which again is huge in Gujarat. And these regional biases obviously stemming from the place of origin of these brands. And then the other aspect of geography is by town class. So here we're talking about the metros, the mini metros, the smaller class A, class B towns, class 1, class 2 towns, and then going into the upcountry area of the villages. When you talk about town classes, what you generally see is the skew that is there in the category, and more so in the products, is linked to how premium the product is priced, or how expensive or luxurious the category is. Okay, so just to sum it up, as far as data organization is concerned, what has worked for me is to try to organize all the data basis the 4 Ps. So you have product, price, promotion, and place.